Hi. My first job, besides babysitting and mowing a lawn or two, was making shakes and malts at an old 50s style diner near where I grew up. Today I want to use a metaphor for how consciousness seems to be constructed that stems from my early experience making malts and shakes. In part, the purpose of today's video is to shift our focus from thoughts to emotions, but it is also me taking an opportunity to introduce myself and introducing the particular flavor of intuition that I seem to enjoy exploring in my own mind. If you think of the basic level of consciousness, the raw awareness that I am as the ice cream that goes into every malt or shake, and if we stop and think about it, this is the only thing we can be absolutely certain of. I am having an experience of being. Where or what or how or who I am isn't so certain, but the fact that I am is. Maybe this is why we decided to call ourselves human beings. Sorry, back to the malts and shakes. We can and do ask the waiter for additional flavors as well. I always like to make mine with chocolate and coffee. Some people would order up combinations of fruits and syrups that seemed crazy to me. We all order up different packages of consciousness, kind of like how when we sign up for a membership to a website, we can select from a menu, like the basic, the standard, the premium, and then the enterprise. And each ascending level has additional features that you didn't get with the lesser plans. As humans, most of us got thinking, perceiving, sensing, intuiting, behaving, and interoception, or feeling on the inside, which often shows up as an awareness of internal energy in the form of sensations that we call emotions. I mentioned in my last video that I also have a metaphor for the causative chain between different layers of the conscious experience. They're not really layers, but aspects of the human experience. They're all blended together, and we experience them simultaneously, just like I could taste the chocolate and the coffee flavors at the same time. I call this the stream of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and I suggested that the spring, or the source of our stream, is thought. From there it flows into emotions, which are really the body's reaction to our thoughts. From emotions, it proceeds to flow into behavior. Our behaviors are most often activated by our emotional effect. I don't necessarily believe that all emotions flow from thoughts. Most of them do in my experience, but I also believe there are instances in which the emotion is present and serving as a magnet to attract certain thoughts in alignment with its vibrational frequency. Like waking up on the wrong side of the bed, not due to a thought per se. You haven't had time yet to think one, but you wake up with a deep sense of dread, for instance. In my view, emotions need to be dealt with very differently than thoughts. Some thoughts are not worthy of our attention, and I spent a large part of the Thought Vigilance series describing which sorts of thoughts are not. Emotions are always worthy of our attention. That's essentially what they've been begging us for. They want to be seen and acknowledged, and they want validation or affirmation that they are here and that they have a right to be here. Whether they flowed in from negative thinking is not really relevant once they're present in us. They become facts at this time. We can try to deny their existence, as most of us do, but we do this at our own peril. I have a complicated love affair with emotions. I don't see them as entirely positive or negative. I see them pretty neutrally, really, but I see them as entirely unavoidable and as not at all frightening or mysterious. I find that being in the presence of other people's profound emotional expressions is like being in a sacred space, which I suppose is part of what makes me a decent therapist, and it feels like an honor to me. To briefly turn my attention to another level of the human package of consciousness, one thing I've noticed is that there seem to be a lot of different flavors of intuition out there. My particular flavor of intuition seems to concern how emotions flow. They make sense to me, they fascinate me, and I often wonder why we don't all spend a lot more time talking about them and trying to understand them better. Because this intuition about the inner workings of emotion is part of my experience, or my premium package, it is a part of me that I want to share with the world, since I may have greater access to it than others around me. It might be this that I have to offer the world. I often refer to my intuitions about emotions as musings, and I'm not convinced that they're correct. They're just my best guesses. I can't confirm them absolutely, but I can share them with you, and I'll leave it up to you to evaluate their value to you, to see if they resonate. In the coming days, I will shift my attention here on this channel to these musings of mine about emotion. I'll present many ideas, the purpose of which is to shift your orientation towards emotions so that you can navigate your own, as well as the emotions of those you come into contact with more grace and patience. I hope you'll stay with me through this, and I hope that you will share your thoughts and feedback with me. When I reach a certain number of subscribers, I will be adding some other features like group forums to this channel's offerings. I don't wish for this to be a lecture series, but rather an open conversation where everybody's invited. To be clear, I don't kid myself into thinking I'm the only one with great insights about emotions, and so I believe I would benefit from learning from you, my audience, as well. Your likes and subscribes are deeply appreciated, and your thoughtful comments are met with even more gratitude on my part. My intention is to respond thoughtfully to any comments you leave me. So thank you for joining me today, and remember as well that you can find all of my articles on Substack, where I exist as natekokernot, and on my website, miraclereadiness.com. I love you all, and thank you for joining me here today.